All right. Here we go. Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
Oh, we're
Oh,
live.
there we are. Look at that. All right.
We are live.
Thanks for your support, Alan. I felt the presence.
I was trying to do like extreme close up, but realized that this is about as far as I can get without moving my computer.
All right, cool. We are ready to go, I think. Yep. All right. Mute that. Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 132. We got a couple of things to cover here in San Diego. A tale of two teams. San Diego Loyal wins 3-0 against the number one team in the USL, San Antonio. The next day, San Diego Wave loses 2-1 to Kansas City. They have not been able to beat that team and are no longer in first place. We're also going to briefly talk about the OC and LA Galaxy 2 situation, since we do have our expert on site, Mr. Alan Underwood. We're going to go ahead and also cover the Premier League. We are going to do a pick'em. We did a pick'em this last week. We're going to see who was the one that ended up being the winner and everything that happened, because guess what? All of our teams won and got points. Alan will agree with me in a bit, but Manchester United loses. I'll just leave that's the highlight for that. But in any case, we also may cover some Liga Mexicana, and we're finally going to go ahead and open up the two balls in a league, fantasy football league. Woo! Football, because that is coming back. Somebody who is not a fan of that type of football, I don't declare, believe, Mr. Alan Underwood. Hi, Alan. You don't enjoy the
American football.
American football?
I used to. I just find it not very entertaining anymore. Like I get like the red zone is like the way to watch it now, because it's like all of the fun stuff. But I don't know. It's just not my ball of wax anymore. Ball of wax, is that even a thing? It's not the bee's knees.
The bee's knees.
There are other things that I would like to do on a
Harry.
Saturday afternoon / morning / evening, and
That's how I know you're not a
Foosball's not one of
football.
them.
Yeah, you said Saturday. So football's on Sundays, boys. Unless it's wild card playoff. But yeah.
Or a COVID game again. Like
Yeah, those got wild.
last season, there were Tuesday games, Wednesday games.
So there was a Saturday game at Torero. It was it's a muggy one. It's like these days have been pretty gnarly here in San Diego today. Like the sepia tone just kicked in with the clouds that were over. Like I don't know if you guys saw that. Like everybody was like in Mexico in Breaking Bad when they have that like different colored variations. But anyway, Saturday, San Diego Loyal faced against San Antonio, a San Antonio team that
The best
some
in the
might
league.
say
The best in the league.
is the best in the league, but was a little weaker than they usually are. And we didn't see any type of excuses from their fans, from the official Twitter, much like other Colorado-based soccer teams may do, not to mention any names.
Yeah, props San Antonio.
yeah,
you guys didn't put a statement saying, "Hey, we're gonna suck today."
Yeah, your boy PC was on there. We've known San Antonio because they beat San Diego Loyal and kicked them off playoffs 2-0. But that was a very different San Antonio team than the one that we had here this Saturday. Alan, why? What happened? Like, who were they missing?
So they're missing kind of one of their big key attackers, who picked up a red card for apparently some type of like hands to the face situation in the game against Los Dos, and that is Santiago Patino. Apparently, they had a laundry list of injuries, but this was still a pretty strong San Antonio side. I think much like the Colorado Springs Switchbacks wasn't necessarily the team on the pitch that was necessarily weaker. It was just the lack of depth on the bench, which trying to bring fresh legs on against a team like San Diego is important. So we saw that against Colorado Springs, and we saw that again against San Antonio. It was just they didn't have a depth, or they didn't really have a bench to go to pull guys from.
And again, like we saw some numbers in the high 50s, high 80s. That's usually the telling sign of some of these kids are and they were kids, they're academy kids, but they put up a fight. Just overall, they are still the best team in the league. Before this match, we saw a unretirement ceremony of such. DJ Wired made an appearance at the parking lot. That's Chairman Andrew Vasiliadis, who, as people may or may not know, was a professional DJ and was retired, but came out of retirement just for you, Alan,
guys.
just for you guys.
With the parking lot. Woof, 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 woof.
So he pulled a Landon Donovan.
Yes, yes, essentially. But that was pretty cool. I mean,
it looked.
You
dope.
forgot the microphone at home, so you had to go back. That's on you. You missed it.
I got there. I was so happy to get there. People were saying hi. I was like, hey, it's Two Balls.
This is the analysis that people tune into Two Balls and Underwood for. Alan, as a musician yourself and a trained ear, some might say that DJs are not musicians. What do you think about that? And what did you think sonically of our chairman's San Diego Loyal set? Coolest chairman, by the way. I don't think any other chairman can do the same.
I really appreciated his collection of music. It was very entertaining. It wasn't like super artsy. It wasn't like he was trying to like outthink the room. And his transitions were always really, really nice. And that's what I told him on Saturday is when you watch DJs perform, that's like the sign of a good DJ is do they understand how to mix tracks together? And then can they tie one song into another and mix in some elements at the same speed? That way the beat stays consistent, because we've all heard those DJs who are like, I like these two songs, but they're not at all the same speed. And then they try to mix them, and it's like a 3-wheeled car or a 4-wheeled car, but one of them was like a square wheel. So just like and it's like it just feels uncomfortable. But the entire time his mix was really nice. He had a bunch of mixing some pop tunes with like a nice steady tempo to it.
I'd love to have an image of it, but
very enjoyable to see him kind of do that, and I think it put a lot of people in a good mood right off the bat.
I see. That would have been me had I been there in the front.
Play Bad Bunny. also arguably a musician to some.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun to be out there, and it's fun to see like what type of music he spun. We saw a little bit of it during the pandemic.
He tweeted about it. He said it's going to be specifically house music, so bring your dancing shoes.
I think somebody was like, asked me like, do you think he's like on something like when he plays?
Oh.
And we're like, I don't know. But at the
We
end
do
of
know.
But at the end of the game, like he was talking to a couple people, and he was like, that's the first DJ set I ever do sober.
Yeah,
So
normally he's drinking something.
maybe he's drinking something. So last time he drank some Stones during that stream for the Radies fundraiser.
Imagine DJing sober. Wow.
Imagine DJing, bro. There we go.
That's true. All right, well, let's get to the game. I mean, San Antonio were missing players, but San Diego Loyal had a pretty solid lineup.
Yep. Yes,
You had
they
Coque
did.
Vegas on goal, Elijah Martin, Kyle Adams, Stoneman, Colin Martin, Charlie Adams, Nick Moon, Alejandro Guido, Blakey, Conway, and Amang. Conway getting a start after another game-winning goal the previous game, which I was a little judgmental in the first 20, 30 minutes of Conway's performance. You guys were like, take it easy, bro.
A little, yeah. You were
Take it
saying like,
easy. Oh, no, actually Nick Moon too.
He doesn't deserve this start.
I never said that.
Alan,
I never said he
Alan.
doesn't deserve the start. When did I say
Alan.
that?
was this not what we felt?
So this was a really important start for Conway, coming off of 2 straight game-winning goals. One as a starter, and one as a sub the past 2 weeks against RGV and Orange County. So it was very nice to see him get a chance to start again, especially with Vassell on the bench.
He deserved it. He's been
No,
working for
he
it,
did.
and
He did.
I think it was actually a couple of weeks back where we asked Landon, and he talked about how much the training aspect is really elevating some of these players, and how much he sees the effort. I think Conway's one of those players where he's earned that spot, right? Like Kyle Vassell is just something else, obviously, but to force yourself onto that team, to make yourself undeniable, I think Evan Conway's earned that. And if you have a chance to play him, and if it makes sense, you play him on the starting lineup right now.
Before, to correct you on what I said I like Conway coming off the bench better. I think he's better coming off the bench as a second half player. That's what I said. I never said he didn't deserve to start. He did. He had a good performance overall. He ended up getting the growler and matched man of the match. Which, by the way, Alan, you mentioned that he wasn't the highest graded player.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in the FIMOB and SofaScore ratings. We talked a little about why those might not be the most accurate. But yeah, there were a couple other players that probably had a top to bottom better game. But when a kid like that is scoring on a hot streak and is putting in really smart goals like that, I think it's nice to reward the kid for putting in the work. And I think the locals do a pretty good job of spreading the wealth and maybe not going with the most obvious answer, but a kid like Conway has been putting in shifts, the past 3 games or so that have been really, really nice. And to see him, for him to start scoring on top of Among and Toomey and Kyle Vassell, it just means that you have, more arrows in the quiver when it comes time to attack some of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, notice how he automatically skipped the first half just because that first half was very tight. It was not a lot of chances, very back and forth. So not the most entertaining, honestly.
And we got some interesting stats from @VirtualStatman in the parking lot, the official statistician for San Diego Loyal. Pretty much these two teams, I predicted stupidly a tie. And then the great Sean Kelly comes over and is like, actually, it's almost virtually impossible for that to happen. This San Antonio team hasn't tied away. This Loyal team hasn't tied at home. So it's definitely not going to be that. There's going to be a winner. And it was a case of really good offense versus the best defense in the league. Yeah. And it showed in the first half.
The best offense.
Yes.
They're the ones with the most goals. They're the best offense, the most attacking team against, like you said, the best defense. So normally those type of games are usually very entertaining, that's why I went with a 3-1 prediction.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Congratulations, Chiva.
Thank you.
Celebrate good times, come on. Got closest to the prediction. But this team, again, is impressive because I don't think last year San Diego Loyal team would have beat this San Antonio team. And that's great praise.
Yeah, no, I don't probably not.
Especially without the Miguel Berries and stuff.
Yeah, essentially you did play this team.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
I think it's the biggest difference between last year to this year is that San Diego has the ability to kind of wear teams down and attack from a bunch of different angles. And it makes the defenders have to really defend the whole time, right? When it's just, one striker that you're keying in on, it makes your job a little bit easier to defend, so you're not expending as much energy. And that was a huge difference, right? San Diego was making San Antonio work, and while the first half was pretty cagey, pretty maybe not the most entertaining, it was really just hey, they don't have a whole lot of depth. Let's just keep wearing them down, and keep making them defend. And we believe that we have enough talent with enough opportunities that we'll be able to get at least one. And I thought when Conway scored, I was like, this might be enough. And then San Antonio had a pretty decent look. And then when the second one went in, I was like, all right, this is a good place to be. But Chiva, you were like, well, San Antonio's going to get one back. And I was like, if they get one back, I'm going to be actually kind of nervous.
Yeah, concerned.
Because that's that one goal. But again, Stoneman with an absolutely free header. Like, what is it with our defend with Stoneman and not being able to be covered? Like, either his movements are very good, the play is very good, or the defenders kind of lose him a little bit. Like, he just kind of slips in.
I think what helped out on that one is that cross got deflected as well by the defender on the header. So I feel like that sometimes plays a little trick on the defenders. They're like, oh, it's a low cross, and then I don't know where the ball just kind of jumps over. But you were saying, Alan?
Yeah, and so I was pretty nervous at that point because San Antonio goes back down and actually gets a pretty decent look, and I was like, oh, if they score, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. But Koke is right there, plays the positioning really, really well. It looked probably like a much more threatening goal in person than it did on the replay. But this was nice too. Like we talked about this at match as well. Like Kyle Vassell hanging out in the half moon or the D.
Yeah.
He almost gets the cutback, and this is kind of smart, right? Like you're the striker, and they expect you to probably be at the penalty spot, but he's playing further back to give himself a little bit more space, I think, because San Antonio was dropping deeper and trying to defend the box, and he almost gets the cutback before the goal, right? I was like, oh my God, would have been a great cutback. He like just barely missed it. But then Nick Moon was able to find him again, and he just has enough space and enough pace to pop it by. Farr probably should have had something on that, but I think the way that the ball's skipping, I think he's trying to react to it. I don't think he gets enough on it, and like he gets his hand on it, maybe a little bit of a deflection there too, but I think it was really smart of Vassell to set up right at the 18. Yeah, it looks like might be a little bit of a tip.
Yeah, he does touch
set
it
it right
the
at the top of the 18 because Toomey's running in and he just gives himself space, and that's just a really smart striker.
I think
a really good run by Toomey.
It's obviously something that they've been training, right, Calva? So having him stand there and just he's been practicing those shots, and it's not the first time he scores a shot from there. He's done it before. So again, plays that you can tell they've been practicing at training, coming together in games and actually going well, and then in the back of the net, it's just beautiful gameplay by San Diego, honestly.
Yeah, and that Stoneman is yet another set piece goal for San Diego without giving up a set piece goal, and I think both of those have been very, very huge for both sides of the attack and defense. Is not give up set piece goals, but also score on them. I think that's what's going to take. We saw this with Orange County against Tampa Bay last season. They really kind of put the pedal to the metal on set pieces, right? Like they save a penalty kick, but also they score their second goal on a set piece free kick. So like these set pieces are going to be really important. We see this in tournament play all the time, World Cups, where set pieces really kind of make the difference between these teams, especially when they're going to sit back and defend like San Antonio does. You might not get a clean look at goal through the run of play. You need a set piece to get it going.
Yeah, and to talk about this team, right? This is more of a team than it was last year in the sense that you aren't really necessarily waiting for Guido to pull something out of the hat. Same thing with Jack Blake. You're not relying on individuals. Like, as you were saying, Alan, like you can go with multiple players. You can go with Toomey. You can go with Evan Conway. You have Kyle coming off the bench in this game. Guido can still score. Colin Martin can get you from outside the box. Amang, like Nick Moon will go on the run. So there's just so many options, and the fact that they are able to just be so selfless with their play, their looks. Sometimes Evan Conway is too generous. Sometimes he just needs to take that shot. And I think if he was to take that shot, he'd be in contention a little bit more for that starting striker position with Kyle. But even two strikers, like, you know what, you just forced my hand. You have to run a 4-4-2 now. You're going to have, you've been running with three in the back, but you can manage, especially if you have that sort of attack where you can put an Evan Conway, Amang, and Kyle Vassell. And I think that's going to be the end-all be-all. Like, when playoffs, if everything goes right, like, that's a scary front three.
I mean, at what point do you try that out, though, right? Do you try that out maybe against Monterey Bay, who is also coming on a little bit of a hot run? Or do you kind of stick to your guns and to what you've been playing in the past 2 months or so? So I don't know if Landon's want to try new things right now. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Right, it's working out right now. The rotations are being made. All the players seem to be very happy. There's not one player that can be like, oh man, I wish I was getting more playing time right now. You obviously have those players like Hackworth and Carlton who are still going to be coming off the bench if needed.
Yeah.
So there's players that haven't solidified that starting position, but like you said, there's a lot of players that could easily replace one another in that starting spot, which is huge to have for a title contending team.
Guys, this is the best soccer podcast in San Diego, hands down, just because of the past 2-3 minutes of speaking. Alan, the best one, hasn't even spoken about this. Alan, what do you think?
You have 4 players in the top 20 in the Western Conference in goals and 3 players in the top 20 in assists in the Western Conference. Like, you have guys who are not only scoring but dishing, like Toomey. You have Charlie, who's top 10. You even have Nick Moon, who has 4 assists this season.
Yeah.
So, like, this is what, Landon Donovan spoke about at the press conference is, like, pick your poison, right? Like, I think this is what the goal with Kyle Vassell and, Evan Conway is. It's like a little bit of, like, thunder and lightning. Same thing with like Thomas with Among as well. Like, you put this bruiser in to beat down the back line, and then when they're tired, you throw Evan Conway out there who can just run you ragged. And I think the opposite happened this time, right? Evan Conway was running him. Same thing with Nick Moon. They're just running these guys and countering and getting them to move. And then when Kyle and Toomey come on, it's a little bit of like a playground for them, right? Toomey putting on a little bit of a showmanship, like playing the type of style that he likes to play, where it's not just about goals, it's a little bit of flash, a little bit of flair. And so I think with this attack, it's not just about who's starting, but it's like realizing that, hey, I might not get the start, but I'm going to get my looks because I'm the guy coming off the bench when everyone's exhausted, and I'm just going to run circles around them. And I think that selflessness, when you talk to the guys, they understand those roles, right? They're willing to be like, I might not get the golden boot. I might not get, I might not lead the league in assists. I might not make team of the week or team of the month or team of the year or whatever. But I know my role in this squad, and I have a role to play, right? Like, Colin Martin, Kyle Adams are top 5 in the West in passes. So, like, everyone has a role to play. I think they understand the importance of their role and realize that they might not get, Colin Martin, Kyle Adams, 5 and 6 in the league in number of passes.
Wow.
And so I just think everyone kind of understands their role, and they understand that it's not about individual accolades. It's about how the team performs. And if the team is performing well, it doesn't matter who gets the goals, because they'll get theirs eventually, right? You score 2-3 goals a game, I'm going to get mine eventually. It might not happen this game, but I'm going to make that off the ball run to open up space for someone else to score. Or Conway scores 3 games in a row. Like, these are the things that a team should be doing, as opposed to a collection of individuals, which I think we saw a little bit last year with guys trying to get theirs. It leads to, like, guys who are probably in a little bit better position not getting the extra pass. And then I think it's balanced with a little bit of selfishness from the attackers, that they know that, hey, I got this and I'm going to shoot it. And no one's really getting mad. Like, I think there was a Nick Moon, Charlie Adams wanted Nick Moon to pass it to him. He was like, hey, Nick, right? And Nick took the shot, and Charlie was like, and then realized he got a corner, and then was like, okay, all right. Like, he was mad at first, but then realized, like, he put the team in a really a good position, and it's like he's supported that play. And then he'll probably talk about it afterwards. Hey, I was open at the top of the 18. So I just think this is, like, it's really fun to watch this team communicate and play well together, because everyone kind of understands that it's not just about them.
Yeah, you definitely have a great point there. Also, the patience that the team has, right? Just like you were talking about earlier, just how they were wearing down San Antonio and just getting them tired. They ended up scoring the 3 goals within 12 minutes. Again, they got the first one, and those spaces opened up. As we all know, if you don't know, when it comes to soccer and a defensive team, normally if they score first, it's kind of going to be game over because they're going to park the bus and it's going to be really hard to get one in. Once San Diego scored the first goal, and I'm pretty sure that was Landon's thing. We have to score first in this one because if we start out being down, then it's going to be game over. Those spaces started opening up. They had to push up lines because, again, they wanted at least that point away against San Diego. They did not want to lose this game. They were happy with the tie. Those spaces opened up, and we saw what happened. They got the second one with Stoneman, and then you got Kyle Vassell's third goal. So, honestly, this was great coaching from Nate and Landon. And I really like how we always include Nate in these conversations because we know. Because we know.
He's X's and O's.
If you know, you know. Nate's the big brains behind all this, too. But I think we got to give both of them props on this game as well. Yes, the players played a hell of a game, but tactically, this was a very smartly played game. Is that a word?
It was played smart. You were on the right track. You should have stopped. But yeah, no. And now, this is kind of where we were last year. I remember at this point there was a similar Orange County game, away game. There was similar times. And I was really excited to see, wow, this San Diego Loyal team's coming together real nice. Corey Herzog's figured it out. Douglas Martinez is, doing some really good stuff. Augie Williams, and you remember those guys. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
but we were at least I was really looking forward to seeing, all right, these players are really doing well. How is Nate and Landon going to manage this going into the playoffs? Because you can only start 11, right? And so now we're kind of getting into that same time frame where there's some players that arguably deserve to be on that pitch, and I'm curious to see where that coaching lands in their decisions for a starting 11 in important games. Coming up, they're about to start getting into games that are going to mean that they may clinch sooner than everybody else, and so those games are coming up. You have playoff games that are coming up. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how Nate and Landon have grown together as a coaching leadership.
And you also have to realize that you have more away games to come than home games.
Yes.
They have, I think, 4 home games left. And one is this Wednesday. I think September, they only have 1 home game.
Yes.
And sadly, that's September 17th, which I think, as we all know, that's the first wave game at Snapdragon.
Pack the Snap.
Which I'm still positive that a lot of loyal fans, actual loyal fans of San Diego Loyal, if that makes sense, are still going to choose San Diego Loyal game against Phoenix over San Diego Wave. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a low turnout for their game. And that's going to be their only home game. And I hope that doesn't affect the team in a negative way when it comes to mentally. Because all the players and Landon, they've admitted, right, that Torero Stadium's environment is just kind of brightens them up and just motivates them.
Yeah.
And for a whole month to not have that, that's going to take a toll on them.
Absolutely. Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we see this with day games too, which is the other thing that's a little bit worrisome is they still have that last home game, I think, is a Sunday afternoon against New Mexico. And we saw what happened the last time we played a home game in a Sunday afternoon. So the last 2 home games are maybe not the most, or 2 of the last home games are maybe not the most friendly for San Diego. But, this is, where, last 2. So Phoenix and New Mexico. Maybe not the most friendly, but if something's going to get them ready for a deep playoff run, it's playing in front of, playing on the road, playing in front of some tough crowds and being able to motivate themselves. The fans are going to be great, but they need to make sure they motivate themselves as well. That October 1st on the road against Orange County be another opportunity for loyal fans to see their team in person, right? They had the Vegas in late September, early October, Orange County away. So there's some opportunities to make the away games feel like a home game a little bit, like we saw against Orange County. But this is the time where they have to take that love and internalize it and bring it to the pitch themselves and motivate themselves. Because I think, while the fans might bring them over the edge, I think there's a little bit of, the team is also the one that kind of starts the energy sometimes as well. You score, the energy gets bigger. Then you score again, the energy gets even bigger. So I think this is the time of the year where it's going to be important for them to take that home energy on the road and see if they can't motivate themselves and get that feeling on the road, because they're probably going to need it, right? They're not going to get the first. They're probably not going to get to the first place. They're still 4 points and a game behind San Antonio. So the likelihood of them having to go on the road at some point in the playoffs is a reality, right? Like, they're currently, I think, 4th in the league right now in points. So, if the season ended now, they would go on the road against San Antonio, Lou City, and Tampa Bay. So they're going to have to do some damage on the road at some point, maybe in a final, maybe in a Western Conference final. So they're going to have to figure that out on the road and show up.
And coming on up, they do have another home game for all that road madness. And correct, Jerry, Siaha. Anthony Siaha comes back to San Diego. Bit of a revenge game, I think. After, whatever went down here in San Diego. But, yeah.
It's one of those situations where the team just doesn't let anyone know what happened. And the players just out of nowhere, nowhere to be found again. And then I don't know where we see them going to a different team. It wasn't the case for Austin. They did end up making a release statement for Austin, which is fine. Barely. But for Siaha, I mean, you talked to him a couple times at the barbershop and he stole your haircut. Do you feel like this will be a revenge game for him?
Should I tell the story of what happened after?
You should. He doesn't play here anymore.
He
doesn't play here.
All right, so did I ever tell you what happened after? Alan?
No, tell us.
After that haircut, I got stolen from me. So he finished it, right? He just rushed it, and he did a good job. I was fine with it. Anthony Siaha pulls up in a pretty beat up, 1998 Toyota Corolla, where the paint, it's white, where the paint's chipping, and you know exactly what that looks like if you know what a Corolla looks like now in 2021, 2022. And he's just waiting. And he's just waiting. And I come out, and I'm like, all right, it's your turn, dude. So I, knock on his door, and out just comes a plume of smoke.
A cloud.
Cloud of smoke.
Cloud 9.
And my man was having a good time. He was recovering, let's say. And he quickly was like, oh, thank you. And went in, and I think that had to do actually with his release. That's not official at all whatsoever.
Huffing and puffing, bro.
But, yeah, you can't be doing that, hours before training, after training.
That's the story.
So Siaha has played in 5 straight matches and has yet to concede a goal. 2-0 win against Orange County, 0-0 against Detroit City, 2-0 against Red Bulls 2, 1-0 against Loudoun, and 1-0 against El Paso. So maybe not the toughest run of form, but Detroit City is a pretty decent team. So it'll be interesting to see if he's averaging just over 2.5 saves per match. He's played 5 games and has essentially 5 clean sheets. Although it says 4, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, but he's gonna face the most dominant attack in the USL with San Diego Loyal. So I don't think he ends up keeping a clean sheet in this game. I do think San Diego Loyal are gonna end up winning this game as well. And I'm gonna go with maybe another 3-4 goals in this game.
It's bold, as some people in Austin, San Antonio would say. It's bold. Shout out.
Do they get it back-to-back clean sheets? Possibly they could. But I'm going to go with a 4-1 win for the Loyal.
Oh, shit. That is very generous. That is incredibly generous. I'm not going to go for a tie. Statistically, it's either a win or a loss. Not, ties, whatever. But I like this offense, and San Diego Loyal is doing pretty well. I'm going to go with a 2-1. Just regular, classic, harmless, 2-1 San Diego Loyal win.
Alan.
Yeah. So Monterey Bay in their last 5 actually has a better record than San Diego does. Monterey Bay has won 4 and drawn 1 in that run of form with Siaha taking over in net. Prior to that, pretty poor. And on the road, Monterey Bay is about a point per game on the road. They had a little bit of rough time to start on the road as well. This is a tough one just because they have had a pretty good run of form, although, again, maybe not necessarily the best competition to play against. But taking a look at that Detroit City, they only gave up 1 shot on target. Against Orange County, 2 shots on target. So, again, maybe not like the best examples. 2 shots on target for El Paso of 12 shots, but they didn't block any. So maybe a little bit of fool's gold there for Monterey Bay. I'm going to go 3-1 San Diego. I think Monterey has the talent to kind of get some stuff going. But, Hugh Roberts and Kai Green are both, stalwarts of the league. Hugh Roberts is one of the most respected players on and off the pitch. Done a lot of really great work for the Black Players Collective. So they have a pretty decent team on the pitch. They have former Chris Cortez is a name that people who've been around have seen, but he hasn't really played a ton. That's the kind of guy they have on the bench. We know Sam Gleedle is another name that people have been paying attention to. And then Siaha isn't the only former Loyal on their team. Chase Boone is also on that team. 6 goals in 14 games. So he's been able to put some stuff in the back of the net as well. Scored against Orange County in the last game that they played. So they have some talent there. It's not like a walkover. It's not like, oh, well, they're in next to last place, like the Eastern Conference. That they're going to be easy to walk over. I think this is one that's really important for San Diego to take seriously, in that don't overlook them, because you have, not Sacramento. They have Sacramento a couple days. It's not to overlook them as you look forward to Birmingham on the road this weekend. This is the one you want to take care of. You play really well, you get 3 points in this one, and then see what happens against Birmingham, who's been playing better late as well this Saturday.
Yeah, you leave no doubt.
Yep.
Leave no doubt with this game, right? Like, don't play with your food. Don't play down to the competition. If they play up to the competition, then great on them. You still played your game. But, as you're getting through the season, like, you're getting a little bit more polished teams. Even the bad teams or the worst teams on the table, like, they're pretty all right, like, barring, setbacks and injuries. But, yeah, that's going to be incredibly cool to watch. I want to see historically players who used to play with San Diego Loyal play well. I'm thinking of like Tariq Morad when he's not getting red cards, Emre Clementa, couple of others in there. But yeah, so that's going to be coming up this Wednesday. Alan, before we go and just talk about Orange County, because you mentioned Orange County and everything that's going on over there, and you being a member of the Orange County Orange and Black Soccer Cast, an officially unofficial podcast of the current defending reigning USL championship champions. Before we get to that, just I want to mention Papi Brujo. You know Papi Brujo, right?
Yes.
Papi Brujo
and the Chavos de Loyal are coming together again for the second annual school supply drive, trying to get some cool stuff for kids in El Barrio and some local community outreach. They're accepting the following donations. Clearly, if you have a Venmo, go ahead and use that Venmo code to send virtual money into a virtual account but that'll do some good. I don't have any of that stuff. Mumbo jumbo to me.
I got your fool.
All right.
I know a spot with supplies.
Hell yeah. But if you want to go ahead and donate, some of the supplies that they're taking are backpacks, pencils, pens, colored pencils, markers, glue sticks, notebooks, crayons, binders. What are other things that people don't think about? We were, at schools.
What are that? Backpacks,
Alan,
pencils, pens.
What do you think is something that's crucial for
Scissors.
Trombones,
Bones.
trumpets, saxophones, clarinets.
You're gonna have to clear that with Papi Rujo. Maybe they'll take
Drumsticks.
drums.
Yeah, maybe.
Paper. Paper's clutch.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of on digital stuff these days.
That's
but
very true.
Blue light glasses.
blue light glasses. Yeah. Knockaround makes them. So does I think Blenders does too.
Hell yeah. So drive ends August 19th, so about 8-9 days left. So Chavos del Loyo, Papi Brujo, check them out. Go ahead and donate. There are different locations where you can drop stuff off. The absolute shit talker over at Three Punks Ale, Mr. Steve, shout out Steve. He just wants to get destroyed at the San Diego Sockers game, and I am glad.
Well, he's got to show up first.
Exactly, he's got to go. So,
Walk the talk.
exactly, homie. You're gonna be on his team. You want to be on his team. What are you?
I just want to score on you.
You're not.
I'm not gonna pass it to him.
Anyway, he's a good guy. So Three Punk Sale is also a location you can donate. And there is one more. I know you're watching Papi Rujo. If you can let us know.
Let us know, bro.
Let us know where else they can go ahead and do that.
I know a shed with materials. Fool, I got you, dog.
Alan, you are a member of a podcast up north, but you still live down south. The Orange and Black Soccer Cast, who does coverage just much like we do. Great operation up there that covers Orange County. But some news came down. Some breaking news.
Yeah. So the city of Irvine announced tomorrow that during their city council meeting, they'll be approving essentially it was like a request for whatever that's called, for the use of the championship soccer stadium. And then all of a sudden people were like, wait, that says LA Galaxy 2 and that says 0 other professional games at the stadium. And immediately soccer wars took off on the Twitter machines, and all other like Reddits and all sorts of shenanigans about people coming to Orange County's defense of essentially losing their home. And this isn't just Orange County Soccer Club. It's also Cal Strikers United also play at that facility. And essentially, this looks like LA Galaxy wanted to have the exclusive rights to play at Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, which is, last time I checked, not in Los Angeles.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so this happens quite often, right? We had the Clubus Crew with Austin, and then what MLS did to the Austin Bold. You have, essentially with Sacramento with Burke. You had USL do this with League One to Chattanooga, although they've seemingly have kind of cohabitated and are still both doing pretty well. But this seemed to be essentially a power grab from Los Dos to eliminate Orange County as a competition for youth players, right? This seemed like if we can't beat Orange County to sign youth players, then we will just eliminate them. And that way we can sign those players instead of Orange County and make the money that they would have made, although with single entity and all that shenanigans. The newest update is that LA Galaxy put out a statement essentially saying,
Backpedaling a little.
What's that?
They were backpedaling.
Yeah. LA Galaxy are a proud partner to the local soccer community and are committed to positively growing the sport of soccer in Southern California region. LA Galaxy are not interested in an exclusive arrangement for LA Galaxy 2 to play at the Orange County Great Park Championship Soccer Stadium. That's a mouthful. And have advised all parties our willingness to open conversations with the city of Irvine and other stakeholders on mutually acceptable arrangements pertaining to the use of the stadium moving forward. So what that statement doesn't say is that we are no longer wanting to play in Orange County. We are still wanting to play in Orange County, and we will work with you. And us Soccer City fans, when Soccer City and SDSU tried to work together, we saw how well that worked out for Soccer City. There's now a pretty nice stadium that I'm sure will be absolutely fantastic. So don't come at me, SDSU folks. But this is essentially like, we promise we'll work with you. Doesn't really give me any other pause to say this is a great place for Orange County to be. Feels very much like Los Dos. It's like, well, we tried to work with them and they weren't reasonable, so sorry, we're not going to work with you anymore.
And that's the thing, right? This could happen now anywhere.
Yeah.
What keeps someone from doing this in San Diego?
Yeah, the
like
money.
you said earlier, Phoenix. The money, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all about the money. Like, that's what it's going to take. Like, somebody's going to come in and just big dick it and just say, I want a team here in San Diego, and I don't have to include Loyal in the plans. And even if they were to get a modular stadium at some point for some strange, wild miracle at this point, that's not going to matter. The thing about this, too, is like wow, you're on Orange County side, like, kind of, yeah. Look, some of my best San Diego Loyal memories are in that stadium against Orange County. Like, everybody who's made that trip knows that it's a cool little nook. Like, everybody is a little jealous of what they have up there, not just the stadium itself, but all those fields on the outside of it. Like, it's a really good facility, but to lose it and just for MLS next to come in and just MLS, right? Just to try to, just come in and take over. It's not cool, because then what's to stop them from doing it everywhere? And I see this as, like, they're not just going into some random place. They're going to the champions of the league's home. Like, that to me is like the balls on them. But they can. So what's going to stop, I guess, what seems to be inevitable almost? Like, what can stop this from happening, if anything, at this point?
Well, I mean, they have the city council meeting tomorrow at 4, so they'll get some news tomorrow afternoon, whether what direction that vote goes, and see how much pressure they can put on the city. With San Diego, like, this is one of the reasons maybe you look at Snapdragon and try to get some sort of, like, men's soccer team exclusivity for Snapdragon, and that way that keeps MLS at bay for the length of whatever that agreement is, and because that's where Orange County is stuck, right? Like, they signed an MOU with the city saying, like, this long, and now in San Diego, like, oh, it's 99-year lease. The city's not going to do that for Orange County, right? The city's not going to do that for San Diego. So it's like, for Loyal, so it's like, okay, you do a 3-year deal that just holds it off for 3 more years, right? St. Louis, they went in saying, oh, we're going to build from what St. Louis, the USL club, was doing, but they ended up folding the USL club, and now they have an MLS Next club for 1 year while they wait for MLS to kick in next year. And so it's been a couple years of MLS Next and building to MLS. So I don't think anything stops this. Like,
Wow.
If someone with $1 billion wants to say, I want a team here, that the team's going to go there. And, whether or not the fans support it is a different story. San Diego is very protective of, their sports teams that are invested in the community or not. But, the difference between MLS and USL is people know MLS, and USL is a little bit of a harder sell.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask us if an MLS team came in San Diego, would we cover it as much as we do San Diego Loyal? The answer is absolutely, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
100%.
It's MLS. It's a ticket closer to the World Cup. You got to remember that's our goal for this podcast, to make it to that World Cup. It doesn't mean we're going to stop watching San Diego Loyal and supporting it. I think we absolutely fell in love with San Diego Loyal.
Yeah.
This is all hypothetical because nothing has
It's
set in stone yet.
It's not like Albion, right? Where, like, nobody watches Albion.
Who? Hey, 619 Soccer watches Albion, okay?
Thank you for doing that for us. You're right. Like, somebody's actually going to care if, they get put on the back burner for this. Just to give perspective on what level, pedigree we have with the great Alan Underwood. At the game, the president of San Diego Loyal comes up to him, wide-eyed, like, "Oh my God, yes, you, Alan," and is like, "Tell me, what's the lowdown? What's the story? What's the scoop, Alan, on this Orange County situation?" Like, that's pretty cool, to be like the guy, the point of contact for such news, and just being able to be the one to explain it to somebody who's, I mean, I would assume rather invested in something like this. So you're a cool dude, Alan. You're cool.
Very popular dude. Very important dude.
There is going to be another game too against Birmingham coming up. Alan, I know you wanted to go ahead and talk about a little bit about that game coming up.
Yeah, this is actually, I think, the one that is going to be a little bit bigger of a test. Birmingham has been playing well as of late. They went through a formation change, and they have scored 13 goals in their past 3 games. Again, that's against Loudoun, Hartford, and Atlanta 2, kind of the bottom end of the East. But I think they're playing really well. They beat Sacramento on the road. They beat New Mexico on the road. So there is some pedigree here. It is a quality team. And so this is the one that you're like, I don't want to say you have to look toward, because you have to take care of the home game first. But this is going to be a really tough matchup on the road for San Diego. Playing Wednesday, traveling to Birmingham to take on Birmingham Legion, the 3 Sparks, in 5 days. So this is going to be a tough turnaround. I think this will be a tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, if you can score 6, in any game, it means something regardless of the opposition and how they play. But that's an impressive last couple of games that they have there, and they don't play. They have a rest, as you're saying, before San Diego Loyal.
San Diego Loyal plays on Wednesday, has to travel and get there by Saturday. So it is going to be a tough game. Last time San Diego Loyal did this, they still kind of performed well.
Look at that.
Who joined the chat?
Look at that. It's
Wow,
our buddy.
I guess I can't do this prediction
Ricardo
because he's not going to be happy with that
Oh,
one.
shit.
By the way, we all predicted San Diego Loyal were going to win on Wednesday,
Yes,
but on
we did.
Saturday, I think they'll get the tie in that one. I
You were
think
gonna
they will
say
get
loss.
a tie. No, I wasn't going to say loss. I think they'll get a tie. It'll be a close game, maybe a 2-2 game, something like that. If they pull off the win, again, I love when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff San Diego Loyal winning, so I hope I'm wrong on that one, but I'm predicting a tie for that one. Alan, Tony.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation to be in. They aren't strangers to having a midweek game away, traveling left, right, up, north, down, south. Like, it's been crazy, especially at the beginning third of the season where, you had a couple of 30 days with 9 games type of situation. So this team is battle tested, and I think if, again, we need to get through this Wednesday, just take care of business, just enjoy that flight over and take care of business over there. And I think it's possible. And let's go with a 2-1. I don't think a clean sheet happens over there, but good opposition, another 2-1, two back-to-back 2-1 victory predictions for me.
Wow,
So
you're going with the win
right.
on this one? Don't tell me that's because Ricardo's in the chat.
Nah.
Okay, better not be.
If you want to get a little bit of heads up, Kaylor Hodges on Twitter does a bunch of stuff for Hammering Down. Does a really good job of really breaking this team down, and has highlighted some of the changes if you want to go check him out on his podcast. I do think this is probably like a 2-2 draw. I think if San Diego can defend really well,
I'm the positive.
I can see like a 2-1, but this is going to be a tough test to travel. They might not defend as well with a little bit of tired legs and traveling, but I do believe the offense has enough to get them a couple goals and to keep their average goal scoring up, because San Diego's been scoring quite a bit as late, averaging 2.3 goals per game. So I think 2 goals is not out of the ordinary for them.
I can see some players like Carlton making an appearance in the starting lineup. Boxall, just getting that rotation in. But either way, you play to win, and hopefully it'd be great to get 6 points out of these next 2 games. I think 4 would be fair. Everybody would be content with that. anything lower than that, it's kind of like, missed opportunities, especially where you're at, right? You're within striking distance of first place, and I think it's a real possibility for this team to make it there. And, San Antonio fumbles it here and there, but
It's all hoping they don't get screwed over by the referee again.
don't put that bad juju out there, bro.
It's the USL. You got to expect some shit like that to happen. It happens all the time.
100%. Just to circle back on a couple of things right here, we're talking about the Chavos de Loyal second annual school supply drive. A good recommendation was earbuds. I did see earbuds is actually a good one right now, especially with the virtual learning. Some nice little gel headphones. Like it's fine. They're not expensive. Cakes on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista is where you can go ahead and
Chavo owned.
You can go ahead and drop off those as donations. 3rd Avenue, Chula Vista, Chavo owned. Check it out. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Alan, I think it's a really good stretch of time for San Diego Loyal. And I think they're taking the opportunities that are given to them and they're running away with it. Like it's really fun right now. It's really, really fun. There's times where it hasn't. There's times where it's been frustrating. Even this year, just sometimes where it's like you could have done more. Granted, some refereeing issues here and there, but I think it's a good place that San Diego's at right now.
Oh, for sure. You got to be happy.
Chiwa?
I agree. I mean, it's a good time to be a San Diego Loyal fan. We'll definitely see you guys all on Wednesday.
Yep.
Get out there. Let's pack that stadium. Because San Diego Loyal is not going to have a weekend game until that September 17th game.
Venga el loquero a torero.
Loquero a torero.
Yeah, terrible. So we'll see you guys out there Wednesdays. It'll be really, really good to see everybody's face again midweek. Because, again, there's only a couple more chances to see San Diego Loyal in the regular season at home.
Yep.
So take those opportunities. Alan, you're the best. Drink the best. Be the best.
Cheers.
Enjoy it up in the morning.
And we'll see you guys very soon.
Later, Alan. Have a good night, bro.
Bye.
You want to see us trash San Diego Wave? Stay tuned because they sucked this past weekend.
They did not do well as we are accustomed to because San Diego Wave.
You guys know what we're about. We're not gonna be all positive. If the team plays like shit, we're gonna call it out and we're gonna see what they could have done better.
It was probably
analyze
the worst San Diego Wave half I've seen in the first half. You've seen some stuff. You've gone to more Wave games than I have, but it's those day games. It's those day games at Torero that just
dude, it's just a drag, honestly.
Sluggish. But that shouldn't be an excuse, right? Like the weather was not the best. It wasn't ideal. The grass.
It wasn't the worst either.
It wasn't, and that's one thing that I've been noticing is that I actually parked on top in that hill where it's overlooking and the views west. That field is getting messed up.
Oh
right
yes,
now.
it is.
It looks absolutely terrible, bird's eye. Like there's big patches of areas where it's not looking good.
You start seeing them at halftime going with those buckets of like dirt and stuff to like cover those little holes.
That's not gonna do anything in the long run because San Diego USD soccer starts, football's coming back. It hasn't really rained, one rain, and that's gonna be it for it. If San Diego Loyal,
it helps out that Wave's not gonna play there anymore.
Yeah, so. No, they're fine. They're gonna be fine. Their playoff games are not gonna be played at Torero. But if San Diego Loyal make it to playoffs and you have a home playoff and you play there, good luck on having
around that time in October.
I know that's something that worries some people, and it should worry everybody.
I mean, they tell us to not step on the field,
especially with specifications like that. Like they like the field to be a certain amount of slickness, a certain amount of moisture, because they want the ball to travel. I know Nate doesn't like dry pitches because the ball doesn't travel. It's not conducive to their style. But like
we see Jurgen Klopp.
I mean, it could be the next one. But yeah, so San Diego Wave. Welcome Kansas City, who they tied against earlier in the season 2-2. That game was actually a match that it was one of the performances, and I kept saying it this last Sunday was I'm just tired of these games that, they played their heart out, they did the best they could, and they ended up with a tie. And a tie is great and all, but they keep having to come back from these impossible situations that they've been making it. And even Casey Stoney said in the post-match, like, we just started too late. We just started that comeback too late, and at some point you start running out of luck. And now that you have everybody back,
there shouldn't be
excuses.
Really shouldn't. And that's what I like about Casey Stoney, right? She really didn't put any excuses. She kind of just said, it was maybe one of those games where everyone just kind of had an off day. It wasn't the best. Alex Morgan wasn't getting enough balls up there. The midfield wasn't really producing much. Again, I think something that affected them was having, what's her name? She's normally McNabb.
Yes.
McNabb is normally in the center midfield, and she had to adapt to a left back position because, again, you trade Tegan McGrady for Poe, and Poe doesn't get to start yet because it's going to be her first game, so it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But you kind of risk that first half with McNabb at left back, and it just kind of didn't work out. And you can tell, man, when you don't have McNabb with Van Egmond in that center mid position, it feels a little off.
Yeah, and again, like, to the credit of Casey Stoney, she was quick to point out that, the way she said it, she's like, I'm not usually disappointed, but I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry, this comment about the pitches dry stuff probably tells them you can have a halftime water balloon fight.
Yeah, just rehydrate
just
places.
Help it.
Yeah,
hey,
just please
help it
anything
out.
at this point. We saw after the Wave game, the guys, because they're sponsored, this league is sponsored by Gatorade, so they have those big old great Gatorade tubs. They just dump it. They just dump.
No, it fell.
Oh, they did?
They dropped the big Gatorade thing with all the ice.
No, they did it on the other side too. They dump it on the pitch.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, they dump it on the pitch.
Dude, I was like, pendejo la cagaron.
But yeah, so it was one of those games where San Diego Waves just never really got going, and I don't know what's going on. Katie Johnson didn't make a start. You have Sofia Jakobsson coming back from the Euros.
Yeah.
You just throw her in there, and Wave was playing all right without the stars, and they got the results, and it seemed like this team seemed like it was the team without Alex Morgan. Alex Morgan was nowhere to be seen in this game.
Yeah, and the thing with Alex Morgan is you got to feed her the ball, right?
Yeah.
And nothing like that was happening. Breedy, you couldn't even tell that Breedy was on the field as well. And she's been a dominant player when the international players were gone. She scored a couple goals. She had key passes. Taylor Korniak just seemed off as well. You couldn't really – you're like, Taylor Korniak, she played?
I mean, you really can't miss her on the field.
No, you can't, but her presence on the field wasn't there. Normally she's up and about pressuring and stuff, and it just wasn't that type of game for San Diego Wave. And again, hopefully it's a one-time thing where it doesn't really affect anything.
Yeah.
So
hopefully, yeah, and that's
if it happens again, then it's something to be worried about.
Is it? I mean, I think Casey was even asked, like, "Are you worried about this?" And it's like, well, no, like the El Don that was there, like asking like 12 questions, like.
Yeah,
They like in this little journey of media, like there are some people with some nerve. Obviously, we try to be as respectful as we can. And,
I think the thing is, I think some media people are not taking it as professional as it could be. This is professional soccer, and they're not aware of what soccer is and the press conferences, and they just go in thinking it's some other like half-ass league or something, and they don't treat it as such, and that's what honestly upsets me sometimes. The thing is, Casey Stoney maybe shouldn't be too comfortable where she's at because they're only 3 points behind ahead of Kansas City, and they still have a game in hand. So you're essentially 4 points from being in 6th place, which is at the edge of the playoff run. Mm-hmm. So not the ideal spot where you want to be. You want to keep winning games. This league is so tight that just dropping points in back-to-back games could mean going from first and second to like 6th, 7th place. Absolutely.
And I mean, a good goal by Amira Ali, her getting her first goal. It was too little too late. She comes in the 75th, 76th minute around there. And, she is a spark plug. She gives life to this team, but she just can't stay fit enough to be a starter, because if she was a starter and was able to play 90 minutes, it would be trouble. I think you would put her along with with Morgan on the other side, but you start Ali, Sofia coming in a little bit later, just a little bit different. Kaylee Cerdan also had a great penalty stop in this match. That's 2 penalty stops in a row for her. It's pretty cool.
From the spot this season, all 3 of her goals have been from the spot. She'll try and make it 3 against Sheridan, who stopped.
And it was after this penalty that you kind of felt the momentum go. Because after this, they kind of got the second goal. Their first goal to maybe try to tie it up.
You can really tell, and like I called it too. I'm like, it's gonna go to your right. It's gonna go to your right, and I don't think we got it, but I was like, it's gonna go to her right, just because she stopped it to her left.
I think
people do their
you
homework.
should be able to hear it on the thing. But it was a good save.
Really good stop.
It wasn't a bad penalty shot either. She just stretched out there.
And
she
you
got
one-handed
there.
it,
Yeah.
the non-dominant hand. It's
By the way, this
really,
was one of
really
the
impressive.
worst turnouts I've seen at a Wave game.
worst turnouts. It's still
It's still
bigger
it's
and-
still
and-
good.
and-
Like
yeah.
it's a good at least 4,000 people, but there was a lot of empty spots.
I like this tactic that she has, because she stands behind the line.
So she
because
takes a
then
step
she takes a
forward.
step forward.
She's still on
That's
the
actually
line.
genius.
It's world class, man. Yeah, she's still on the line. Because as a goalkeeper, correct me if
never
I'm
thought
wrong,
of
but you always kind of take that little step forward, right, to
it's
get
just-
that like.
Yeah, exactly.
like that
and you have to
push-off?
have both feet on the white line, and
That's smart.
that is actually, I've never seen that. I've never even thought about that.
Oh man.
Wow. I'm gonna ask her about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask her about that. That's really cool. But yeah, other than that, then it's just 2-1. It was pretty hard to hard game to watch. Casey Stoney post match conference. Casey, hi. How are you?
Disappointed, but I am today. I thought the manner of our performance, wasn't good enough. We didn't deserve to get anything out of today's game, and we got what we deserved, which was a loss. So, lots for me to fix, lots for me to review. And I always say I look at myself first and how we set the team up, but we just did not come out and start well. The goal where Mace dribbles through and finishes, that's not a team, that I.
The second
I wanna
goal that
see
they got
again.
scored on was
People
fantastic.
were taking
Oh,
3
yeah.
shots at our goal with no blocks. But yeah, listen, it's never for lack of effort. It was just we just weren't at it today. We had too many players off and didn't create enough. Jose.
Jose.
Yes, I am Jose. Hello. Hola. ¿Qué tal?
Coach, historically, your team this season has done well with adjustments after results like this.
Yeah.
What's something that you're going to...
Historically, your team has done well in adjustments after performances like this. What are some things that you're going to focus and try to improve moving forward?
We were technically off today. It didn't allow us to build any. The one time we played any type of football, we scored. We didn't. One of the things we needed to do against their system was switch play, and I don't think we did that well enough. And then when we did break pressure, we just wanted to go forward, and sometimes didn't have the numbers to sustain it. And defensively, we have to be better. Too many opportunities on our goal, unaffected. Centre forwards coming off against our centre backs under no pressure, something I need to look at. And the transition moment, we're 3v1. We can't let her turn there and let her get a through ball in. So, yeah, lots to work on, but I need to prioritise what we need to do ahead of Orlando, because we need to come back here and put a performance on and, make sure these fans keep coming back.
That was probably the best answer I've ever gotten from Casey Stoney from a question that I've asked her. So
You worded your questions very well compared to everyone else there.
yeah, no, everybody
That's me included.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that's some of what her feeling is. Her team did not play well. She was disappointed in her team. She didn't like it at all. But again, in that situation, what did you learn as a coach? Like, what did you see out there? You haven't seen the replay. You haven't gone back and done your footage exercises that you usually may do. But it's one of those things where, hey, I think that at the end of the day, they're going to be fine. So they're still in the top 3, as she was mentioning. She clearly knows exactly where she stands, because after a result like this, you got to take everything into measure. And credit to Kansas City, because they played really well. They know how to play it against San Diego Wave. They know, how to disarm them. Franch, the goalkeeper for Kansas City, really, really good. She plays incredibly smart. Con colmillo. How do you say that in English?
Colmillo would be.
I know it. I know literally what it
No,
means.
no. But like the term would be like.
Is like she plays heads up ball. Like she plays like
Like
smart.
grit. Not grit.
Around there. We're around there. But a really good team. But at the end of it, San Diego Wave no longer in first place. They really have to step up coming on up because they have a couple of games left, and that's it in the
Here's
regular
the
season.
thing. Look, San Diego Wave is in second place with 15 games played with 25 points. Behind Portland, that also has 25 points, but with 14 games. Then you have Houston Dash right behind them with 24 points, but with the game in hand, they are 14 games played. So essentially 3 teams under them, which
Within striking distance of one
with
game.
one game that has to be played and 3 points to take over them.
They can miss playoffs if they really wanted to. So, like you're saying, Reign right there. I'm looking at 6th place, 21 points. That's if they lose one more game, Reign wins another one. That can be curtains.
Yeah, so you have Orlando Pride on Saturday.
Naomi
who in
Girma
8th
did
place.
not play well.
She hasn't
been playing well.
since she came
Something's been
back.
going on. She's coming back, and it's like she has the jitters or something. Like some of the decisions that she's making are not usual for her. Also, Abby Dahlkemper needs to be coming back.
She had the red card, so
Yeah, so
when she comes back, hopefully the leadership goes. But Casey Stoney said, she has to fight for her position again.
she has.
She's the captain, but she has to fight for her position
That's what
again.
I like about this. It's just like raw. Like these are answers that you're not gonna get. Like they're very politically correct answers that Landon gives and blah blah blah. Like no, Casey's like she lost her spot.
Yeah.
She's the captain. She's
lost
the
her
leader,
spot.
but she lost her spot and she has to work hard to get it back. So those are little things that I like to see. Yeah, French. This is that's a good French doing French things.
Big cross from the right. France did so well, battling with Morgan.
I come
On
down
feet
hard.
inside her
I'm
6-yard
injured,
box.
wasting times. 2-0.
Cornillo.
I'm okay. I'm taking my time. I'm just chilling here. Just smart play, taking it easy. The whole game, like little things that she would do like that. Is this another look at it? Okay, yeah.
So
it is.
hopefully San Diego Wave
Big
kind of
cross
pick it
from
up
the right,
on
French.
Saturday against Orlando. Do you have a match prediction for that game?
Um,
Do you think they kind of turn things around and they get a win against Orlando on Saturday?
well, Orlando and Alex Morgan have a history.
That game's at 7:30. That's what we was.
Yeah,
7:30.
it's a weird time. But definitely a match to look forward to with Alex Morgan going and playing against her former team. I think a tie. I don't know. Like this team has gotten 4 points. Was it 4 points in the last 6 matches or something like that? Like it's pretty bad. Like
I think they get a win. I think they get a win. It's not gonna be the most dominant win, but I think they get a 2-1 win or something like that. It's gonna be a close one. Other games have been pretty close so far. Besides that 4-0 like paliza that they got in the first game, but I think they get a 2-1 win and they kind of hope for the best later.
man,
Man, you fucking suck. You know that I hate you sometimes.
yeah. Naomi
guy's a
Girma needs to
jokester, guys.
step up. The whole team needs to be stepping up. Katie Johnson came in a little too late. Like it's crazy. Amira Ali needs to get better. Like stem cells. Let's go. Something. Figure it out. What?
Yeah, she did say in the press conference she hasn't been fit. What's that tweet about?
It's a long. This one?
Twinkies? Exclusive NBA photo of the safe.
Oh yeah, because former President Trump was raided by the FBI, and exclusive images are coming out. He said that they even broke into my safe.
This was a picture inside the safe.
Said safe, absolutely.
Oh man,
I mean-
that one's for Hector, man. He said to talk about this. And
There you go.
There you go, Hector.
There you go, we
Que
talked
dejes de
about it.
chingar, güey.
Chingada madre, cabrón.
Como chingada la güey.
But anyway,
Oh, man.
that's what we have there. However, there is
European football.
Fútbol Asociación Inglés.
Inglesa. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the games real quick. Just kind of like the big games that happened. Obviously, we won't talk about small teams like United. So. You like that one, huh?
I like that.
You like that. Yeah, we obviously talk about the big 5 teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester City, and Chelsea. At what point is Man U not considered part of the big 5?
It's considered part of the Big Five? No, guys.
Big 6?
Big 6, Big 7. Mid-8.
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 God damn it. Let's talk about Arsenal first.
So Arsenal, okay, they're not. Oh, is this it?
That looks. Oh,
That
that's
looks
2019, bro.
We're showing stats, bro. That's showing stats, bro.
That was quite a
you guys
weekend.
are quite a weekend.
Yeah, Friday we had Arsenal against Crystal Palace, and obviously the hype was over with.
You Bleacher Report. I hate you.
20 falls for the funniest things.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
He's been trying to find graphics to show
This
like the
whole
table and all that,
time.
and Bleacher Report has one from.
Wait, where's soccer?
2019.
Why doesn't he have soccer? You have the WNBA before you have soccer up here. That's absolutely disrespectful to everybody in the WNBA. Like, why tease them like that? Bill Burr has a great bit on the WNBA.
Yeah,
And,
I seen it.
Oh, you seen it, boy? You seen it, boy? You
I've
like
seen
it,
it.
boy?
All kinds, boys.
All kinds, boys.
All kinds.
2019 EPL Week 1 standings and predictions.
2019. Arsenal. The hype was with Gabriel Jesus, right? Apparently, he was the most picked player in Fantasy Premier League. And he just shit the bed and didn't do anything and get everyone 2 points. I think we spoke to Ricardo Campos, president of San Diego Loyo, and he captained Gabriel Jesus. That's his boy now.
What a
what
move. What a
whooping
maneuver.
4 points you got from captain Gabriel Jesus in fantasy. But other than that, they ended up winning 2-0, and the hype was real that they were top of the table for that day.
They were in first place, a whole game ahead of everybody else in the league.
Yep.
So congratulations to them. This was another game that we were talking about, and we had some consideration as far as like, well, is this going to be anything? But
I mean, did I not tell you about
2-2.
Mitrovic?
Mitrovic.
I said it on the last pod. He scored 43 goals in 44 games
He's an
last
annoying
season.
player. He's an annoying, like, lower team
He's
player.
going to be
He
a
was-
pest this season for defenders.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, man, I got to watch out for him. Man, you try to sign this motherfucker. Shit.
Darwin Nunez getting his first goal. I think that's going to be a good replacement. You were talking smack. You are not convinced by Darwin.
I didn't like that goal. Kind of like a back heel, and it's like, oh, he scored that back heel. I think he missed the ball and just got lucky that it kind of hit him, and I don't know. I'm still not convinced I want Darwin Nunez. A lot for him to prove. 100 million is a lot.
Did I say Bournemouth?
No,
By the way, it's been bothering me this whole time since last week, and it's been bothering me since the whole time. What's that team's name?
I call him Bournemouth.
Why do you call it Bournemouth?
Because it says mouth at the end.
Can you say Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Bournemouth.
you see?
That's what I fucking call him. Have a problem with it. Take it to my supervisor.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. But by the way, let's go each one because we did a pick 'em from last week.
Okay.
So with the Arsenal one, we both had Arsenal, so we both got that one right.
Sweet. Check.
Fulham, Liverpool, we both went with Liverpool, so we got that one wrong. Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Say it with an accent. Bournemouth.
Fuck that. I guess Aston Villa.
Villa.
Again, Aston Villa. I thought Aston Villa was going to take that. You went with the tie on that one.
I went with the tie with that one. At least give some credit to Bournemouth.
Yep.
For their performance last season. So they win this one 2-0. Then we have Newcastle, Nottingham Forest.
I went with the tie in this one. I wasn't believing the hype with Newcastle, and they ended up winning 2-0. You went with the hype, and
I went with
picked
the
Newcastle.
hype. I know. Nottingham Forest is just there to sell hats and jerseys. That's all they're here for. It's a really cool crest.
Yeah,
I was gonna say logo, but people get upset at that.
People get upset, man.
Next one is Tottenham versus Southampton. I call this one too.
So we both did actually.
I called it more than you.
Tottenham's a team that a lot of people have high expectations, right? That they
Yep.
should be dominating this season. Not that they're going to be title contenders, but they're going to be fighting for that Champions League spot. A lot of people have placing them on third place for the league. So I don't buy that hype from Tottenham, knowing their history. I think they'll end up choking, especially with injuries. I don't think they have that much depth. But we both went with Tottenham. This one, Southampton is just not the same as it used to be. They ended up losing 4-1.
Let the Chelsea fan be the Tottenham hater, okay? And I'm the one that's going to say they're going to be better than Manchester United. Just far
At this point, everyone's going to be better than
Everybody's better than Manchester United. Let's go ahead and move on to Leeds.
and Wolves.
Leeds and Wolves. This was a good game.
Yeah, so this was a game that we both thought they were gonna tie, and we weren't wrong. It was tied at half. Close to the end of the second half, there was an own goal, and Leeds United ended up taking them.
It was funny because all the Americans were like, "Oh my God, the American kid, he scored! Oh, his first goal, he's fucking fantastic!" Blah blah blah, blah. And then they just went ahead and said, "Nope, that was an own goal, so that's not his gool." That was pretty goddamn funny.
It brings a smile on my face.
Absolutely.
To see American soccer fans with a frown on their face.
Mexican Jimenez, part of that team. Moving on to Everton, Chelsea. So Sterling making his first appearance in an official match against
Boy, is he going to
Everton.
be electric with Chelsea. Let me tell you, I watched this whole game. I don't know if you got to watch the whole game or not,
bro.
but the thing with Chelsea, you guys need a fucking striker, dude.
Yeah,
You guys need a number 9.
it's all good.
You guys
We'll
don't even
figure
have
it
Timo
out.
Werner anymore.
We gave him up. We gave him up and said, "Go run free."
Run
You've
free
done
in
really well.
Germany
You've
again.
done really well. But you know what? Kai Havertz is gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the guy. Just
You
don't
guys
worry about it.
selling players back to the
don't-
teams you guys buying from. Let Timo Werner just be world class in a few more years again, and it's Salah
Goes
all
to
over
Man
again, De
United.
Bruyne all over again, like Lukaku all over again. Oh man, man,
I
that's
could
the
see
history of
Werner
Chelsea.
in a Barcelona.
Or in a Bayern kid too.
Leicester City versus Brentford.
We both
tied.
had Chelsea, right? Yes,
Buzz,
we both
buzz.
had Chelsea.
Yeah, of
So
course. Puppy.
Leicester versus Brentford.
Buzz.
I think we both thought Leicester were gonna take it, and they almost did. But towards the end of the game, Brentford just tied it at the 86th minute, Tony. We both would have been right on this one, but Brentford without Eriksson just said we're still gonna try to compete as much as we can, and they tied it. And we both had Leicester City.
How do you say that team?
Fulham.
Not Fulham.
I call it Fulham. I call them Fulham actually.
Do you really?
Yeah, Fulham.
I'm full of ham. You are ham. But no, definitely
Yeah, so we both had Leicester, and that was what we both got it wrong.
Cool.
Man United versus Brighton.
I almost said Brighton. I almost went with the birdies.
Lisandro Martinez just got kind of pushed around a bit.
What's going on, dude? And then you have people like Alexis McAllister. Like, the talent of Manchester United has gone down so far that you guys are resorting to the opposition to score the goals for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
It's
and
You're
have-
telling me I'm
and
the
you
one that
have
supports them. I
Ronaldo.
know how sad this
You
shit
have
is.
Ronaldo.
It fucking pains
You
me.
have Ronaldo.
It's fucking
Look at
dog
this.
shit.
Disgusting. Like, you guys have all the possession, but what does that matter?
Like, you don't even play Varane.
No.
And Maguire, he fucking lined them up on the wrong side of the tunnel.
Ten Hag.
Did you see that?
Yum, Ten Hag.
And De Gea was telling him, hey, we line up on this side. He's like, no, we're lining up right here. And they fucking have to move.
is gonna retire really soon because I don't know how much more of this he can take. But
I'm so worried about this Manchester United team because we end careers, and if we somehow kill Christian Eriksen on the field, it's gonna take that meaning to a whole another level. And
very okay with
Marcus Rashford was fucking terrible. Sancho didn't even get the ball. Fernandes was just lost. Ronaldo doesn't want to be there. It sounds like we're gonna get Rabiot and Arnovich and
Arnovich?
¿Cómo se llama ese pendejo anciano?
Arnautovic.
Arnautovic. He's
Arnautovic.
probably gonna be our top fucking scorer too.
Fun fact: Arnautovic was actually part of my world-beating FIFA 13 silver German squad, along with Svine, Arnautovic.
What is Man United gonna fucking do,
I had the
man?
good old Marco Royce on that side.
I don't want to watch the Premier League anymore, and I have to
Piszczek.
because of this fucking podcast.
Piszczek. Man,
What are
a
we
team.
gonna do, Tony?
What a team!
What is
What a
Manchester
team.
United? What can Manchester United do, Tony? At this point, what should I do as a Man United fan? 'Cause I don't
You
know.
shouldn't scream into the microphone first of all.
What should I do?
You should.
Chat, let me know. What should I do?
Yeah, what should he do? Hey, you guys gotta let us know what are we gonna do for this pick'em punishment.
We both had Manchester United. So we were both wrong. We had City. Haaland had the debut of a lifetime with
Absolutely.
2 goals.
2 goals. It's over. Pack it up. It's done, boys.
It is a done deal.
It is
Manchester City
absolutely
just looked
done.
too dangerous. De Bruyne with Haaland is just.
Brentford.
I can already see when Man U plays City, we're gonna get destroyed like 10-0.
Yeah, Brentford.
I'm sorry, I'm Mexican and can't pronounce this shit.
God damn it, the Padres lost again.
Hell yeah, I get my windbreaker back.
over here gambling with your friends.
Yup, all the time.
Anyway,
Let's do this week 2 pick'em because you beat me this one. You are up 1-0, mister.
I am up 1-0. I like that. I like that you recognize that. So, all right, let's go ahead and go in order. You have Aston Villa going up against Everton. Everton not looking like the same Everton of last year. Well, I mean, they started off pretty good last year, so I won't say that. But I sense an Everton win in this one against an Aston Villa team.
You said Everton win?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Not paying
with Aston Villa is at home. They didn't look too good. I'm gonna go with a tie on this one though.
Gonna go a tie on this one. Southampton versus Leeds. Leeds, again, a dangerous team powered by good old American love, I guess. Took love to make these human beings. Manager and players alike. Against Southampton's, just didn't look good. They lost 4-1, but Leeds still has some good talent. I think Leeds win this one.
I'm gonna go with another tie here. Yeah, I'm
just
gonna
play
go
it
with the
safe.
tie
Just fucking
here. You're
ties
going with the
everywhere.
away teams. I'm going with ties, dude.
Attractive fixture here. Arsenal versus Leicester City. Leicester City still maintaining form and just overall, it's one of those teams where they were doing well and they won the Premier League, and then you were like, oh, they're going to fall off. They've been able to maintain Arsenal again, making those important acquisitions. I think Arsenal's going to win this one.
I think so too. This is the first game of the season at home. I think they're gonna be dominant. They should win this one. I'm going home with Arsenal as well.
All right, perfect. Brighton, Newcastle, the Gaviotas, the world-dominating Brighton Albion versus newest, richest club in the world, Newcastle United. What's your take?
Based on how Brighton I hope Brighton just dominates the league and takes it on. That's how Manchester United. We lost to the champions the first game of the season. It
The
makes
champions,
sense.
yeah.
But it wasn't too impressive what they did, but they did play good. I'm gonna go Brighton again in this one. I'm going home team.
Got it. Sounds good. I'm going to go with Brighton as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man City versus...
Bournemouth. Chinguen a su madre, todos a la verga.
Manchester City versus Bournemouth.
Is this a question?
Gotta burn
Is this a question? It's Man City. Haaland's probably gonna score 5 goals in this one. Los Lobos contra los Jamones.
I'll take that. Man City wins that one. Wolves versus Fulham.
Fulham.
Versus, I'm sorry for those that listen on headphones.
I think the Hams just keep dominating. Mitrovic is just impressive. I'm going Fulham.
I'm going with the tie on this one.
Okay.
Tie on that one. Oh boy, revenge game. We'll see where Eriksen's heart lies. Hopefully not on the field.
Ouch.
Brentford versus Manchester United. Manchester United just not looking good. They lost against Albion, Brighton, Albion. Buzz. Will they play their hearts out? Will Eriksen score? Will he have the heart left to score on his former team?
Who are
The
you
ones that
going
gave him a
with?
chance.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with Manchester United.
You sack of shit. I freaking hate you. I'm going Manchester United too. I have to go Manchester United.
No, you don't.
I have to go.
No, you don't.
I have to go
No, you don't.
Manchester
No, you
United.
don't.
And I hate that we're both gonna be wrong in this one. Nottingham Forest, los escuditos chingón.
I agree with this right here. Brentford.
Go with Brentford then.
Brentford, easy
What are you so scared
win.
of? Go with Brentford.
Because you allowed me to go first, so that was your mistake.
Contra los jamones del oeste, West Ham.
All
Is this
right.
one pronounced West Ham? Shit.
No, it's actually West Ham.
West Ham?
It's not.
Okay.
It's West Ham. Versus the Forest. Forest versus the Ham. Black Forest Ham. One of my favorite sandwiches over at Subway. Shout out Subway.
With On the Works.
On the works.
What is it called when you
With the
with the
works.
works? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Fuck.
Both teams coming off a 2-0 defeat in the first game. This is gonna be not the most entertaining game to watch, but I'm gonna go with West Ham winning this.
Musiquita. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and go with West Ham as well. They have a good team. Nottingham Forest is just happy to be here. Chelsea versus Tottenham.
It's going to be a good one. It's Chelsea at home.
I'll let you go first with this one.
Tottenham were very dominant.
Okay.
But Chelsea at home. You know what? I'm going to go with the tie.
You're going to go with the tie? I'll go ahead and go with the Chelsea route. Chelsea, it's not a smart choice.
To go with Chelsea?
Yeah, but I'm sticking to my guns.
Yeah, I think you guys, man, you know what? It could be a 0-0 game. Yeah, I know. So, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Let me just type in Liverpool in here. Although they did tie, but they're playing at home. I'm going to go with Liverpool in this one.
Yeah, same. No surprises there. I think Liverpool's going to win that one.
Yeah, so this is going to be we're locking your picks. Anything you want to change?
Are we going to do the lock of the day?
We're
going to do that?
I'm down. So
We're going to do that,
we're
boy?
going to do our a pick of the day, and if you get that right, it's kind of like plus 3 points. But if you get it wrong, it's minus 3 points. So who do you want it to be your lock?
My lock. So you're asking me first.
Well, you can highlight yours. I'll highlight mine. How about that?
So this is what it looks like right now, right?
Yes. Highlighted like a different
My lock of the week
highlighted like an orangey color.
is going to be orangey.
Whatever.
Oh, I know. Highlight.
Okay.
Boom. Right there.
Lock it in?
Lock it in.
All right, I'm locking in Man City.
I hope they lose. You know what? That should be a no, because I actually went and tried to be,
You didn't think Man City. That's your fault.
No, okay,
That's your fault.
After next week, we can't choose shit like that.
Yeah. So let's do this. After next week, you can't pick that same team.
No, not even that. Like, there should be a limit for like, look at this, dude. What are the chances? 91% chance.
We never specified.
We never did. I'll give you that one. But next
week we'll change it up. Yeah, for sure. Pendejo, te pasas de pendejo, güey.
No, that was on me. That was definitely on me. But really quickly before we wrap things up, because the time is coming. It's almost here.
You gotta use the voice.
Well, that's not the song.
I know it's not. Falta un chingo para esa canción.
Yeah, no, it does.
Two balls in the league season's coming up, and we've been hyping it up, but nothing was being sent out. So today or tomorrow morning, we're gonna send out. Today, we're gonna send out a Google form with a lot of information. If you want to join the league, it is called Two Balls in the League. All you have to do is pretty much submit one of these Google forms with your name and email. Tell us why you should be accepted. Make it funny. The more you make us laugh, the more we want to add you in this league. Actually use your name and an actual email so we know who you are. But when it comes to tell us why you should join the league,
that's me changing the question.
Pendejo.
This is me answering the question.
Sorry, guys. Tony hasn't eaten today. He had a nap earlier. He's tired. He's a big boy. He has a big boy job as a coordinator now.
Big boy job.
Big boy job.
So that's the one where you would write.
And then you'll tell us which jersey you would want. And if we don't like your jersey, we're not adding them.
Yeah, no, go screw yourself.
I swear, if anybody wants a Deshaun Watson jersey, you're gonna be personally banned, and we'll call the cops
personally on you. Invited, actually, because that means you have a great sense of humor and you don't care for the rights of everybody in America. Just, I guess, fine, because that's your God-given right to do that, because we live in America. America. But yeah, definitely go ahead and look out for that. If you have the eyes, if you have the guts, if you have the cojones, the huevos, to come and try to challenge for.
We're going to extend it to 12 people, so 11 people are getting accepted.
10 people, because we have Corbin returning. That's the guarantee. So if you win the league, you are in next year automatically. Corbin got a Myles Garrett official jersey from NFLshop.com from us.
And we do pick'ems, and whoever wins the pick'ems at the end of the season, or whoever loses, has to buy the jersey. So you weren't too fond of having to. When can I get a 2 balls and a mic hoodie? That is a great question.
Great question.
We'll talk to our. Hey, Miguel, because it's Miguel, no longer Mike. When are we getting our merch, bro? Fuck. Come on, Miguel. Get your shit. You're fucking Miguel up. Holy shit. Hey, no assault. Miguel. Miguel. Ah. Miguelito. Miguelito.
Deshaun Watson is a hot commodity. He's going to be drafted early in the first round by somebody in our league, probably. So go ahead and look out for that.
There's some pretty sick people in this league.
Yeah, I know. It's sick, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know you would chill like that, bro.
So stupid. It's the stupidest thing.
Oh man, thank you guys. This was a fun episode, honestly. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys get your Calafino tequila over at calafinotequila.com. Put the code 2balls20 so you can get 20% off. Shout out to PV and European Imports. Get your carts out there if you
I got to
need
do
it.
my smog check, so I'm going to be visiting them very soon.
Yeah, I just got a car, so I might be visiting them whenever that shit fucks up. So,
Or you have to get a towed.
again, shit.
Wild. All right, boys.
Later,
Sounds
guys. Have a
Later,
good night.
boys.
Thank you for watching. ¿Vas a mandar el clip? ¿Lo vas a hacer tú?